The snow falls thick outside Hennepin County Medical Center, coating my windshield in a white blanket that feels oddly protective. I sit motionless in the driver's seat, too exhausted to start the engine after my double shift. My scrubs cling to my skin, still bearing the faint scent of hospital disinfectant, mixed with the perfume of an elderly patient who'd hugged me too tightly before discharge. The digital clock on my dashboard reads 8:17 p.m. I should be driving home to Lily, but my limbs feel weighted with a bone-deep fatigue that 12 hours of patient care brings. Just 5 more minutes of stillness before facing the evening routine of dinner, bath, and bedtime stories. My phone chimes from the cup holder where I'd tossed it. The family group chat. Probably Mom asking when I'll arrive to pick up Lily. My parents have been watching her after school, a favor they never fail to mention at every opportunity. I reach for the phone, expecting the usual passive-aggressive prompt about my daughter's bedtime routine. Instead, my mother Ellen's message glows on the screen with cheerful cruelty. We're hosting your sister Hannah's fiancé, Brad, and his family this year. There's no room for you and Lily at the table. My thumb hovers over the screen, certain I've misread. The phone chimes again with a follow-up message that hits even harder. But we'd love it if you cooked like always. The air leaves my lungs in a rush. Not invited to Christmas dinner, but expected to cook it? Before I can process this, my father Ron's message appears. And don't forget my Apple Watch, Series 9 this time. My hands begin to tremble against the steering wheel. The heat from my breath fogs the windshield glass, creating a cocoon-like isolation that suddenly feels suffocating rather than protective. I grip the wheel tighter to steady myself, knuckles whitening as my breath comes faster, creating small, desperate clouds in the cold car. 3 years ago, I sat in a different car, signing divorce papers while my then-toddler Lily napped in her car seat. I remember thinking that moving back to Minneapolis would give us stability, family support, familiar surroundings, a chance to rebuild. That day, I packed our life into boxes and drove us back to my hometown, renting a small apartment just 10 minutes from my parents' house. They'll help with Lily, I'd told myself. We won't be alone. And they had helped with strings attached to every minute of childcare. Every school pickup became a favor I could never repay. Every afternoon spent watching Lily became a debt I owed them. I closed my eyes, remembering Mom's face when the developmental pediatrician confirmed Lily's autism diagnosis. That slight pursing of her lips, the flicker of disappointment before her features rearranged into practiced sympathy. Well, she'd said afterward in the parking lot, we'll just have to make sure she learns to behave properly. No one needs to know. The realization solidifies in my chest like ice forming on a lake. Ellen cares more about appearances than love. Brad's wealthy Connecticut family offers the perfect status symbol, the kind of connection she can brag about at her charity luncheons. My struggling nurse's salary and autistic daughter don't fit that perfect picture. For 12 years, I've been the invisible backbone of every family gathering. I organized Hannah's law school graduation party, spending $900 of my nurse's salary on catering, while Ellen took credit for the elegant spread. I took unpaid leave to drive Dad to his back surgery appointments, sitting for hours in waiting rooms while catching up on medical journals. I've catered Mom's charity events, helping her impress board members with homemade appetizers that she introduced as our family recipes. As Mom's wrist arthritis worsened, cooking became my permanent responsibility. Somehow, I transformed from daughter to household staff, without anyone acknowledging the shift. The snow falls harder now, muffling the outside world. I watch it pile up, creating a barrier between me and the life waiting beyond my windshield. Last week flashes in my memory. Lily, excited about a documentary on historical trains she'd watched in school, chattering happily at Sunday dinner. The steam locomotives from the 1800s used coal to heat water that made steam that pushed. Sweetheart, Mom had interrupted, her voice honey-coated but sharp underneath. Not everyone wants to hear about locomotives right now. Lily's face had crumpled in confusion, her eyes darting to mine for explanation. That look bewildered, hurt in her bright eyes haunts me still. I sit straighter in my seat as the snow thickens outside, the truth crystallizing with sudden, painful clarity. My family is ashamed of my daughter. Something breaks inside me, a dam holding back years of accommodations and excuses. But as that structure crumbles, something else rises in its place, something unfamiliar and terrifying in its newness. Something that feels dangerously close to freedom. My fingers hover over the phone screen, muscle memory ready to call Ellen back, apologize for the delay, agree to cook the perfect Christmas dinner, while Lily and I eat leftovers at home later. Years of appeasing, peacekeeping, and absorbing slights rise up like a well-rehearsed script. But Lily's voice echoes in my mind. Why does Grandma get mad when I talk about trains? I turn off the phone instead of calling back. The screen goes black, reflecting my face in the darkness, eyes clear, jaw set. I start the engine and carefully back out of the parking space, driving slowly through the snow toward home, toward Lily. For the first time in years, my mind feels oddly quiet, stripped of the constant worry about pleasing my family. Instead, a new clarity forms, a clarity that feels dangerous and necessary all at once. That night, Lily's gentle snores filter through the thin apartment walls as I spread my phone, laptop, and a stack of receipts across the kitchen table. The blue glow of the screen casts shadows across my face as I open my text messages, scrolling back through months, then years. You know we can't do this without you, sweetheart. My mother's text from Easter stares back at me. I'd stayed up until 2 a.m. preparing a ham dinner for 12, then driven 40 minutes to deliver it to their house before my hospital shift. I continue scrolling, an archaeologist excavating the ruins of my own life. Don't make Mom stress again. Hannah's message from last Thanksgiving surfaces. I'd questioned whether I needed to make all 7 side dishes Ellen had requested. I ended up making 9, borrowing $200 from my emergency fund to cover ingredients. I opened my banking app, the numbers swimming before my exhausted eyes. Electronic transfers to my parents' accounts, $175 for Dad's birthday golf clubs, $300 toward Hannah's engagement party venue, $86 for Mom's medication that insurance wouldn't fully cover. In my photo gallery, I find images from the Street Paul Children's Hospital fundraiser last spring. Ellen stands center stage in a powder blue dress, accepting applause for the exquisite catering, food I'd prepared over 3 sleepless nights, food she never once mentioned I had made. My hands tighten around my phone, a dull ache spreading across my knuckles. I pull up my calculator app and begin tallying, groceries for family dinners, gifts they'd hinted at, emergency cash when Ron's car broke down. The weekend I catered Hannah's law school study group during finals. The numbers climb higher, my breath catching as the total flashes on screen. $11,400. $11,400 spent on my family in the past year alone. With trembling fingers, I check my bank account. $438 until next payday. Not even enough to cover next week's childcare if my parents follow through on their threat to stop watching Lily. Ellen's manipulation has been artful, almost admirable in its precision. Each request wrapped in just enough affection to disguise the command underneath. Each implied obligation tied to some past kindness that must be repaid eternally. Hannah learned from the best, her texts always beginning with sisterly concern before the inevitable ask. Her wedding planning has accelerated the pattern, expensive taste with the unspoken expectation that I'll fill the financial gaps. Ron stays mostly in the background, except when he wants something specific. The Apple Watch, the golf clubs, the Waterford Crystal whiskey decanter that sits unused in their display cabinet. And now Brad, Hannah's fiancé, whose wealthy Connecticut family has become the newest excuse to push Lily and me further from the holiday table. His parents coming for Christmas has transformed me from daughter to caterer in one crisp text message. I stand, legs unsteady, and move to the bookshelf where old photo albums gather dust. The earliest shows me at 6, standing slightly behind Hannah in matching Christmas dresses. My smile is tentative, hers confident. Hannah center stage, me in the wings, a pattern established early. I flip through birthdays, Christmases, graduations. In every image, the same configuration. Hannah receiving, me providing. Ellen showcased, me shadowed. The evidence is so clear I wonder how I never saw it before. One photo stops me cold. My 12th birthday. I'm in our kitchen, carefully frosting a chocolate cake while Ellen rests on the couch with one of her headaches. I'd made my own birthday cake so my mother could rest. They've always seen me as the help. The words escape as barely a whisper, but they ring with truth in the quiet apartment. Tears stream down my face, not from anger but from grief. Mourning years I'll never get back, a childhood spent earning love that should have been freely given. Dr. Patel's words from last week echo. You can't fix people who refuse to see you. He'd said it about a difficult patient. but the truth of it slices through my fog of family obligation. The phone buzzes with Ellen's incoming call, the third tonight. For the first time in my adult life, I deliberately silence it, watching as her name flashes then disappears. A small act of rebellion that feels monumental. Next week is Dad's birthday dinner. I text my colleague Tamara. Can you tell them I got called in if my mother phones the floor? Her response comes quickly. Absolutely. We've got you. I've already decided I won't be at that dinner. The text feels both terrifying and exhilarating to send. The next day, Ellen's voicemails pile up, her tone evolving from confusion to irritation to poorly concealed threats. Hannah's texts arrive in waves. Where are you? Then, Mom's getting upset. Finally, you're being childish. Mom's upset. Each ignored message feels like removing a stone from a wall that's been crushing me for years. Each unanswered demand is a boundary long overdue. My laptop dings with an incoming email. Doctor. Patel has invited Lily and me for dinner Saturday. Lily mentioned trains last time. My son has a collection he'd love to show her. Genuine interest in my daughter. No strings attached. The concept feels foreign, almost suspicious after years of conditional family love. My neighbor Mrs. Johnson knocks softly at my door, offering to watch Lily while I attend a support group for parents of special needs children. You need some time just for you, she says, refusing payment. I log into the hospital employee site, finding information about a support group I've ignored for years. The description reads, "You are not alone." I click, "Register," before I can talk myself out of it. Later, scrolling mindlessly to distract myself from the guilt of ignoring my family, a banner ad catches my eye. Christmas at the Waldorf Astoria, Chicago. Train tickets, 2-night stay. Christmas brunch, $3,200. Exactly the amount I've set aside for family Christmas gifts this year. My finger hovers over "Book Now," heart racing with equal parts fear and anticipation. I take a deep breath and click. The confirmation email arrives immediately. No second thoughts. No explanations. For the first time in years, I've chosen Lily and myself over everyone else's demands. 3 days later, the hospital lobby bustled with the mid-afternoon shift change when Ellen Miller's voice cut through the professional murmur like a scalpel. How dare you ignore family? After all we've done for you. Ashley froze at the nurse's station, clipboard halfway to the filing rack. Her mother stood near the entrance, designer handbag clutched against her chest, face contorted with righteous indignation. Several patients in the waiting area turned to stare. Mom, Ashley whispered, approaching cautiously. This is my workplace. Ellen's voice rose higher. 3 days without returning calls. Is this how we raised you? Your sister's beside herself. A security guard, Mike, who'd helped Ashley change a flat tire last winter, appeared beside them, his presence calm but unmistakably firm. Everything okay here, Nurse Miller? My daughter's having a moment of rebellion, Ellen announced, shoulders squaring. Some misguided independence phase at 33. Ashley felt her cheeks burn. I need to finish my shift. We can discuss this later. Later? Ellen's laugh was brittle. You've made that promise for days. Mike shifted his weight slightly. Ma'am, our staff needs to focus on patient care. I can escort you to the cafeteria, if you'd like to wait until... Escort me? Ellen's eyes widened with theatrical offense. I'm trying to speak with my daughter about family obligations. 2 more security guards materialized, responding to Mike's subtle hand signal. Ashley watched her mother's expression shift from indignation to calculation, as she realized the scene wasn't working in her favor. Fine. We'll continue this discussion when you remember your priorities. Ellen turned sharply, allowing herself to be guided toward the exit, voice carrying. Christmas is about family, Ashley. Not whatever this is. The elevator doors closed behind Ashley 20 minutes later, her hands trembling as she pressed the button for the parking garage. Her phone vibrated Hannah's 4th Instagram notification today. She opened it reluctantly. Hannah's latest post. A sepia-toned photo of their childhood stockings hanging from their parents' fireplace. Caption. Some people forget family comes first at Christmas. Traditions matter. Family first. Priorities. 3 missed calls from her father. 6 from Ellen. A family group text flashed on screen. We need to finalize holiday commitments. Ashley, Please respond as soon as possible regarding your cooking schedule. Her phone rang again, Aunt Margaret this time. The third extended family member to check in since yesterday. Ashley silenced the call, then hesitated before opening her email. There it was, between hospital shift notifications and Lily's school newsletter, Christmas shopping list, 2024, from Ellen Miller, containing detailed ingredients for the 12 dishes Ashley was expected to prepare. No acknowledgement of their confrontation. No mention that Ashley and Lily weren't welcome at the table. In her apartment that night, after Lily had fallen asleep clutching her favorite train encyclopedia, Ashley sat cross-legged on her bed. Her thumb hovered over her mother's contact, then deliberately selected, block this caller. Hannah's number followed, Ron's, Aunt Margaret's, Cousin Jeremy's. For 24 hours, she decided. Just 24 hours of silence. Next, she opened her email settings, creating a new filter. Family folder, automatic redirection, no notifications. The tension in her shoulders eased slightly as she imagined the messages piling up somewhere she couldn't see them. That night, Ashley slept without interruption for the first time in years. No 2 a.m. texts from Ellen asking for recipe confirmations, no pre-dawn anxiety about forgotten family obligations. She woke feeling oddly light, as if gravity had somehow lessened overnight. Before Lily stirred, Ashley sat by the window, watching dawn break over Minneapolis. 15 minutes of silence. 15 minutes of breathing without planning anyone else's day. The apartment felt different, protected. Later, while Lily arranged her cereal into perfect concentric circles, Ashley opened a blank document on her laptop. Family patterns, she typed. The evidence flowed easily. Holidays spent cooking while others ate, vacation days sacrificed for Ellen's charity events, loan money never repaid, Hannah's emergencies always trumping Lily's needs. Seeing it in black and white felt simultaneously heartbreaking and validating. This wasn't normal family give and take. This wasn't love. This was exploitation with a smile. Her phone call to the therapist's office felt like crossing a border into unknown territory. First available appointment, please, she told the receptionist. Regarding family boundaries. That evening, Ashley stood before her bathroom mirror. No, she practiced, watching her reflection. I won't be cooking Christmas dinner this year. Her voice wavered, then steadied with repetition. Lily and I have other plans. Lily's school holiday concert arrived with perfect December precision 2 weeks before Christmas, just as Ellen had calculated. Ashley spotted her mother and sister immediately upon entering the elementary school auditorium. They'd positioned themselves near the only exit door, a tactical choice that made Ashley's stomach clench. There you are, Ellen hissed as Ashley approached, Lily's hand firmly in hers. Your father's parking the car. We need to talk. After the concert, Ashley replied, guiding Lily toward the rows reserved for performers. Hannah stepped into their path. You're being ridiculous. Mom hasn't slept in days. My class is singing Jingle Bells, Lily announced proudly, oblivious to the tension. I'm going to ring the bells on the chorus. Ellen ignored her granddaughter completely. This tantrum needs to end, Ashley. You're embarrassing the family. If you don't start answering calls, Hannah added, leaning closer, we won't watch Lily anymore. Then what will you do? Ashley felt something solidify within her chest, not anger, but certainty. I've hired an after-school sitter, she said calmly. Lily and I won't be at Christmas. Ellen's carefully applied makeup couldn't hide her shock. What will we tell Brad's family? They're expecting your cooking. I'm sure you'll manage. Ashley guided Lily around them toward the stage door, not looking back at her mother's sputtering response. Dr. Patel and his wife Eliza arrived at Ashley's apartment 3 days later bearing homemade curry and freshly baked naan. A pre-Christmas dinner, Eliza explained, smiling warmly at Lily. Sandeep mentioned you might need some friendly faces this week. They ate at Ashley's small kitchen table, Lily excitedly explaining the differences between Japanese and American bullet trains, while Dr. Patel listened with genuine interest. No one hushed her. No one exchanged meaningful glances when she spoke too long about one topic. The next day, a basket appeared at the nurse's station, train-themed books, wooden track pieces, and a miniature conductor's hat for Lily. The card read simply, "From your hospital family." The parent support group Ashley had joined tentatively after Lily's diagnosis, shared strategies for holiday boundaries in their December meeting. My mother-in-law used to make my son perform his normal tricks at family gatherings, one father confided. We haven't spent Christmas with them in 3 years. Best decision we ever made. Mrs. Johnson from next door stopped by with sugar cookies. I'll collect your mail while you're in Chicago, she offered, though Ashley hadn't mentioned the trip to anyone outside work. This building gossips worse than my bridge club. Her supervisor approved her vacation request with a post-it note attached. Well deserved. We've got your shifts covered. An anonymous Christmas card arrived in Ashley's mailbox containing a $100 gift card and the message. From a fellow survivor. The first holiday away is the hardest. It gets better. Ashley was folding Lily's favorite striped pajamas into their suitcase when an unknown number flashed on her phone. She almost declined before recognizing the area code her father's cell phone using a different number to bypass her blocking. Taking a deep breath, she answered while setting a timer for 5 minutes on her microwave. Hello, Dad. Ashley. Ron's voice held the practiced patience he used when explaining why bills were paid late. Your mother hasn't slept. Is that what you wanted? I wanted to be treated like family, Ashley replied, surprised by the steadiness in her voice. Not staff. The silence stretched between them, startling in its length. Ashley realized it was perhaps the first time she'd directly confronted her father about anything. Everyone's upset, he finally said, sounding genuinely bewildered. Hannah says you're abandoning family traditions. I'm starting new ones with my daughter. But Christmas has always been at our house, where I've always cooked but never been welcome at the table. Another silence, longer this time. When the microwave timer beeped, Ashley felt an odd sense of power. I need to go now, Dad. Merry Christmas. She ended the call before he could respond. The next day, Ashley and Lily stood beneath the glittering holiday displays at the downtown department store. Christmas music swelled through hidden speakers as Lily gasped at a sparkly silver dress displayed on a child-sized mannequin. It's perfect for the fancy hotel, Mom. Ashley checked the price tag, $78. More than she'd normally spend on a dress Lily would outgrow in months. But the light in her daughter's eyes as she twirled before the mirror made the decision simple. Let's try it on, Ashley said. While Lily changed, Ashley browsed the women's section, fingers trailing over soft fabrics she'd normally pass by as impractical. A deep green sweater caught her eye, elegant, simple, nothing like the practical clothes she wore for hospital shifts and family cooking marathons. You should try that on, the sales associate suggested. That color would be stunning with your complexion. Ashley hesitated. I don't usually. Mom, look! Lily emerged from the dressing room, the silver dress catching light as she spun. Gorgeous, Ashley breathed. Your turn, Lily insisted, pointing to the green sweater. In the dressing room, Ashley stared at her reflection. The sweater draped perfectly, the color warming her skin. When had she stopped buying clothes for herself? When had every spare dollar been redirected to family gifts, Hannah's celebrations, Ellen's entertaining? You look radiant, the sales associate commented when Ashley emerged. She's smiling like in the old pictures, Lily observed, touching the soft fabric of Ashley's sleeve. Ashley pulled out her phone, positioning Lily beside her in the mirror. Our first Christmas trip selfie, she explained, snapping the photo. Later that evening, she posted it to her private Instagram account with the caption, Starting New Traditions. While Lily slept, Ashley created a new digital folder on her laptop, Family History. Into it went screenshots of years of manipulative texts, spreadsheets of financial records showing the one-way flow of giving, a timeline of canceled plans to accommodate family demands, journal entries, documenting emotional abuse patterns. She added photos from family gatherings, Ellen physically turning away when Lily tried to show her a drawing, Hannah accepting credit for a dessert Ashley had stayed up until 2 a.m. to perfect. She created a list titled Ellen's Credit Taking, documenting every accomplishment her mother had claimed as her own influence. Ashley's nursing degree, Hannah's law school acceptance, even Lily's early reading skills. Despite Ellen's minimal interaction with her granddaughter, the folder grew steadily, backed up to a secure cloud account. Not for sharing, just for remembering, when doubt inevitably crept back in. On December 23rd, their bags waited by the door for tomorrow's morning train. Ashley checked their tickets and hotel confirmation one last time before closing her laptop. An email notification chimed. From Hannah. Subject line, "You'll regret this." Ashley's finger hovered over the delete button. Then, remembering her documentation folder, she clicked instead. Hannah's message was brief. "If you leave town for Christmas, don't expect to be welcome in this family again." Ashley stared at the screen, feeling a strange calm settle over her. "That sounds like freedom," she whispered to the empty room. The December morning air bites at our cheeks as Lily and I step onto the Amtrak platform. The sky stretches clear and bright above us, a perfect blue canvas that feels like permission. Lily clutches her favorite pajamas to her chest, the ones with trains that she insists on bringing despite the fact that we'll have fresh hotel linens waiting. "Mom, I packed my sketchbook and my special headphones," she says, patting her purple backpack. The noise-canceling headphones were a splurge after her diagnosis, one of the few things I bought without questioning whether we could afford it. I check our tickets one more time, a nervous habit. Minneapolis to Chicago. 2 passengers. A one-way journey to something that feels dangerously close to hope. The train gleams against the platform, its windows reflecting the winter sun. The sight steadies my racing pulse. We're really doing this. We're really leaving. All aboard. The conductor's call breaks through my thoughts. Lily tugs at my hand, eyes wide with excitement. "Mom, it's time." We find our seats quickly, settling into the plush upholstery as the train lurches forward. The conductor stops by our row, his weathered face creasing into a smile as he hands Lily a paper bell ornament. "Merry Christmas, young lady," he says with a wink. Lily accepts it with reverent hands, tracing the outline with her finger. "Thank you," she whispers, the words coming easily in her delight. Her happiness is infectious, loosening the knot that's been sitting in my chest for weeks. She leans close, her breath warm against my ear. "Mom, I think this train is taking us to our real Christmas." Something catches in my throat as I nod. Out the window, Minneapolis begins to slide away. The hospital, where I've worked double shifts, the apartment where we've lived small, careful lives, and somewhere beyond the skyline, the house where I stopped being a daughter and became the help. With each mile, I feel the weight lifting. I deliberately leave my phone in my purse, silencing the shrill demands of guilt. For once, there is only forward motion. Lily opens her sketchbook, the fresh page bright under the cabin lights. She begins to draw snowflakes, each one unique and intricate. Below them, she carefully prints the words "Real Christmas" in her neat handwriting. I watch her work, marveling at how easily children embrace new beginnings. Back in Minneapolis, I know they're already moving against us. I can picture Ellen, her manicured nails clutching the phone as she calls the hospital administration. "It's a family emergency," she'd say, voice trembling with practiced concern. I'm worried about Ashley's mental state. She's taken her daughter and disappeared. Hannah would be contacting my few friends, spinning tales of concern. "We're just worried about her. She's been under so much stress lately, and with Lily's situation. Well, we just want to make sure they're both okay." And Ron, always the background player, would be reaching out to Lily's school counselor, suggesting an unstable home situation that requires monitoring. Their coordinated attack would be unfolding precisely as I'd anticipated, a narrative carefully constructed to undermine my independence, to paint me as unstable rather than awakened. Text messages would be flying to mutual acquaintances, filled with words like ungrateful and concerning behavior. Ellen would be calling relatives, her voice breaking as she delivered the most devastating line in her arsenal. "She's taken our granddaughter at Christmas." But I've prepared for this. 3 days before our departure, I'd spoken with Dr. Sanchez, the hospital administrator who oversees my department. "My family situation has become difficult," I'd explained, laying out just enough truth to inoculate against Ellen's inevitable call. "If anyone contacts you expressing concern about my mental state, please know it's part of a pattern of control." "Doctor," Sanchez nodded, her dark eyes understanding. "Family dynamics can be complicated. Take your approved vacation days, Ashley. Your work speaks for itself." I'd sent a detailed email to Mrs. Peterson, Lily's school counselor, documenting our boundary-setting journey and the family's reaction. "I'm concerned they may attempt to undermine my parental authority by suggesting instability," I'd written. "We are simply taking a Christmas vacation to Chicago. And, Now, as the Minnesota countryside rolls past our window, I pull out my phone just long enough to post a brief factual statement on social media. Lily and I are enjoying a special Christmas trip this year. I attach a photo of Lily smiling with the Chicago skyline visible from our train window. Happiness is the best defense. I switch my phone to Do Not Disturb, allowing calls only from work and the handful of people who've shown themselves to be true friends. Then I tuck it away, returning fully to this moment of quiet triumph. The train rocks gently as we speed toward Chicago. Lily has fallen asleep, her head resting against my shoulder. Her fingers still clutch the paper bell ornament, unwilling to let go of this small kindness even in sleep. Hours later, we step into the gleaming lobby of the Waldorf Astoria, Chicago. Gold lights shimmer across marble surfaces, creating an atmosphere of magic that makes Lily gasp. The Christmas tree soars toward the ceiling, adorned with ornaments that catch and reflect the light. "Welcome to the Waldorf Astoria," the receptionist says, her smile genuine as she hands me our room keys. "Will you be dining with us for our Christmas Eve dinner tomorrow?" "Yes," I answer, the words still feeling foreign and luxurious on my tongue. "We have reservations." Lily spots something across the lobby and flaps her hands in excitement, a physical expression of joy she can't contain. I brace myself for the familiar looks, the raised eyebrows, the subtle shifting away that I've learned to anticipate in public spaces, but they don't come. The staff continue their work, a bellhop smiles in Lily's direction, and no one stares or judges. They simply accept her enthusiasm as natural, as something requiring no correction or apology. A realization washes over me with such force that I have to steady myself against the marble counter. This is how it should always be. Lily looks up at me, her eyes bright with the same understanding. "They don't mind me being me," she whispers. I nod, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. "We deserve this treatment always. We are not the problem. We never were." That evening, after Lily has fallen asleep in our king-sized bed, I sit by the window overlooking the twinkling city and write in my journal, "We are not the problem. We never were." The words look different written down, more permanent, more true. My phone buzzes with a notification that bypasses the Do Not Disturb setting. It's a text from Dr. Patel. "Ellen called the hospital. I told her you're exactly where you should be." I smile, picturing Ellen's frustration at finding her usual tactics failing. By now, she's likely escalated to calling the Chicago police for a wellness check, desperate to regain control. Let them come. When they arrive, they'll find a happy, well-cared-for child and a mother who has finally found her voice. They'll see what Ellen has refused to see, that love doesn't demand servitude, that family isn't measured in meals cooked but in respect given. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. For the first time in years, I feel the holiday's promise of peace. Not because I've silenced myself to keep others comfortable, but because I've finally spoken the truth loud enough for myself to hear it. As I close my journal, my phone buzzes again. A text from Hannah. "Mom's losing it." She accidentally sent a message to the wrong group chat saying, "We can't tell the Bradleys," she refused. "Just say she's working Christmas." Several family friends were included. Everyone knows now. I set the phone down without responding. The truth is emerging without my effort. The carefully constructed family image is crumbling under the weight of its own deception. Outside our window, snow begins to fall, gentle flakes descending on a city that has unexpectedly become our sanctuary. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges, but tonight, in this moment, we are exactly where we should be. Christmas morning finds us in the golden glow of the Waldorf Astoria's grand dining room. Lily spreads strawberry jam on her third piece of toast, her eyes wide at the crystal chandeliers above us. She's wearing the sparkly dress we bought specially for this occasion, and her hair is neatly brushed. No rushing this morning, no tense family breakfast with Mom's disapproving glances. My phone vibrates on the table. Ellen's name flashes on the screen, the third call in 20 minutes. I silence it and turn it face down, refusing to let her intrude on our peace. But a voicemail notification appears seconds later, and something tells me I should listen. "Ashley." My mother's voice sounds strained, theatrical. "I'm in the hospital." My heart. "The doctors aren't sure what's happening. Please come home. Lily needs her grandmother. I need my daughter." I stare at the phone, that familiar twist of panic and guilt rising in my chest. but something feels wrong. 3 years of nursing at Hennepin County Medical Center has taught me the rhythm of real emergencies. More pancakes, Mom? Lily asks, oblivious to the manipulation attempting to breach our sanctuary. In a minute, sweetheart. I step away from our table and call Sandra, my friend in hospital administration back in Minneapolis. Ellen Miller? No, we don't have any admission under that name today, Sandra confirms after checking. Nothing at Abbott or Methodist either. Are you okay, Ash? The relief that floods me is immediately followed by a cold anger. While I'm watching Lily delight on Christmas morning, my mother is fabricating medical emergencies to regain control. Back at the table, my phone lights up with a text from Hannah. Just call Mom. She's falling apart. You've made your point. Then Ron. Haven't you punished us enough? It's Christmas, for God's sake. Cousin Jill. Ellen is devastated. What kind of daughter abandons her family at Christmas? Uncle Pete. Your mother raised you better than this. The coordinated guilt offensive would have worked perfectly a week ago. I would have been packing our bags, apologizing for ruining Christmas, promising to make it up to them. I forward the screenshots to Dr. Brennan, my therapist. Her response comes quickly. Textbook manipulation. Stay strong. This is why we prepared. A.T. The messages continue through brunch. Ellen's escalation is impressive in its desperation. I'm contacting Lily's school tomorrow. They should know you're mentally unstable. Hannah follows with, Mom's talking about getting a lawyer. Don't make this worse. Ron's contribution cuts deep. Your job could be at risk if we have to involve authorities. The final message arrives at 12:17 p.m. Call by 3 p.m. or consider yourself disowned. This is your last chance, Ashley. I set my phone down, my hands trembling slightly. Ellen has enlisted her charity board friends now. Their messages of concern flood my inbox. The pressure feels almost physical, like the air itself is constricting around me. Mom? Lily's voice breaks through my thoughts. She's standing beside me, concern etching her small features. Your phone keeps making noise. Are we in trouble? What's wrong? She asks, her voice small. Grandma left a message saying she's sick, but she's not really in the hospital. Is she lying? Lily's directness cuts to the heart of it. Yes, sweetheart. I guide her to a quiet corner of the dining room, away from other guests. Sometimes people say things that aren't true to make us do what they want. Lily considers this, her brow furrowed in concentration. Then her face brightens with recognition. Like when Tommy at school says he won't be my friend if I talk about trains? The parallel strikes me with such clarity that I almost laugh. Exactly like that, sweetheart. That's not very nice, Lily says firmly. No, it's not. I touch her cheek gently. And we don't have to do what people want just because they try to make us feel bad. We return to our suite after brunch. While Lily arranges her new colored pencils by the window overlooking Michigan Avenue, I open my laptop and create a private blog. I title it Our Little Escapes and write our first post. If they don't save you a chair, build your own table. I added a photo of Lily and me at brunch, our faces relaxed and genuinely happy. Possibly the first authentic Christmas photo we've had in years. The clock on my phone shows 2:37 p.m. Ellen's ultimatum looms, but I feel strangely calm. I silence my phone and join Lily at the window, watching holiday shoppers bustling on the street below. 3 o'clock comes and goes without acknowledgement. A weight lifts from my shoulders as I realize I've been holding my breath for years. What my